Oh, no.
Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley.
I'm John.
South Park is no stranger to controversy. Being irreverent has kind of been one of its trademarks ever since it launched in the 90s. Yeah, it's been around since the 90s. I feel really old when I think about that. It looks like the upcoming video game South Park The Fractured But Whole is gonna be no different.
Good. So, what issues are Matt Stone and Trey Parker addressing this time with their trademark sensitivity?
So sensitive.
Oh, just race. It's not a big deal. It's gonna be fine.
No biggie.
Yeah, so in a feature that is sure to spark, let's say, a spirited debate, we're gonna stretch the definition of spirited there. The game's difficulty mode changes depending on the skin color of your character. The comments on this one are going to be fun.
Super fun. Now, if you're not familiar with the game, The Fractured But Whole is set to release next month. It takes place after the events of the previous South Park game, The Stick of Truth, which was also written by Stone and Parker. In this game, the kids are back in South Park. This time, though, they're role-playing superheroes in a new adventure, and it looks super fun and dirty and, well, South Parky.
Yep. But it's the game's character creation mode that's generated a lot of conversation recently.
Today.
Now, it's not uncommon for your character choices to affect how a game is played. Depending on which class you choose, lots of games can be harder or easier, and some games change your character's stats based on your gender. But this seems to be the first time, at least that we can find, that your character's skin color straight up affects the difficulty level of the game.
Yeah, no beating about the bush about this one. So 2 Eurogamer employees discovered the feature during a recent playthrough of the game. As they adjusted their character's skin color, they found the darker it got, the more difficult the game became. In the video, you can actually see the Eurogamer players getting kind of uncomfortable as they adjust the settings, and that changes. Yeah.
Meanwhile, as you're picking your skin color in the game, Cartman tells you, don't worry, this doesn't affect combat, just every other aspect of your life.
It's good advice coming from Cartman,
of
all people. He's very sensitive himself. Ubisoft has since clarified that the game's difficulty affects the amount of money you receive and the way other characters speak to you throughout the course of the game. So it's not a combat difficulty slider, it's a life difficulty slider.
In addition to your race, you can also pick your character's gender. Later in the game, you're asked to choose your character's gender during a chat with school counselor, Mr. Mackey. You can pick male, female, or other.
It's actually a clever bit of retconning too, since in the Stick of Truth, it doesn't really give you an option, you're just assumed to be a boy. And this game has some fun acknowledging and playing on that and calling your parents about it, and Mr. Mackey kind of getting yelled at because he didn't realize all along. It's fun.
Yeah, and then you get to clarify whether your identity is cisgender or transgender.
And since this is South Park we're talking about, of course, these choices affect the game. Now, we haven't had any kind of crazy hands-on time ourselves to look at all the ways the game changes, but at least in this Eurogamer playthrough, if you tell Mr. Mackey you're transgender, you are immediately assaulted by a group of rednecks when you leave the school because of that choice, and that's just within minutes.
So they're not really pulling any punchies, eh, guys?
No, not really. Now, like we said before, this is not the first time we've seen character creation choices that impact the gameplay. The website TV Tropes has a huge list of examples of how games treat your character's gender differently for the curious. For example, in Final Fantasy VII, every female character joins your party at a lower level than their male counterparts. In a lot of other games, we see examples of different genders having access to different characters or equipment. Oh, in other cases, they'll shift stats, like instead of strength, you have lower strength but higher constitution, that kind of thing.
But the South Park game is the first example, again, that we've seen.
If there are other examples of this, please let us know in the comments. I'd actually love to see them.
Of a character's skin color affecting the difficulty of a game. Of course, there's one franchise willing to go there. It's South Park.
It's South Park.
Its creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, have never been ones to shy away from controversy and making a statement.
Yeah, comicbook.com put it perfectly. They said, South Park as a show has pretty much built its reputation on the fact that it's not afraid to make fun of anything, and its social commentary is merciless. The same goes for The Fractured But Whole, which wastes no time in making a not-so-passive statement about racism in modernity.
Video games, like lots of media, have historically struggled when it comes to racial representation. A Newsweek article last year about the issue noted that black leading characters are rare in the gaming world, and when they do show up, they often appear as sidekicks, overly muscular antagonists, or comic relief. Or they're narrowly typecast as athletes, rappers, and gangsters.
Although you can't really hold like the 50 Cent game against us because that was 50 Cent's game. It is also not always the case. Battlefield 1 featured a black protagonist in one of its vignettes as a soldier. Watch Dogs 2 features a black protagonist as a hacker. Assassin's Creed Origins is going to feature a black protagonist as well, just to name a few. I mean, of course, if we started listing all of the white main characters in games, we would probably be here a really, really, really long time. So it's just a little picture.
Yeah, as you can imagine, this has already become quite the topic online. One Redditor said, "That is fucking brilliant. It's perfectly in line with the type of comedy the show is going for. I was afraid that losing Obsidian might make the game more tame, but everything shown so far from this game seems to live up to the stick of truth or even exceed it."
Another said, "In my opinion, if you don't want divisive humor, you shouldn't be playing a game with South Park at the helm of it."
That's sound advice. And still another said, "Simply never stop being Trey and Matt, Trey and Matt."
Yeah, so overall, actually tamer responses than I would have expected.
Yep.
Game Informer senior editor Imran Khan tweeted, "I'm not sure what I think about the race slider in South Park. It made me feel bad, which I guess is the point, but also kind of sucks." He added, "It's not as if I needed a reminder that min-maxing life is easier if you're white."
It's safe to say that this has already gotten people talking, which is what every other developer wants for their game. And at the end of the day, if this offends you, again, you're probably not going to want to play a South Park game to begin with.
Spoiler alert, probably not the only thing in this game that would upset you.
Yeah, this is like, they just started the game. This is
the beginning.
This is creating your character. If you want to check it out for yourself, The Fractured Butthole releases on October 17th for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
So what do you think of this new South Park game basing the difficulty level on your character's skin color? Let us know in the comments, and please try to keep it civil.
Try.
Please.
Put some effort into it. And for all of your South Park news, be sure to like this video and subscribe to The Know, you very nice people who are civil and respectful to each other.
No, on the bright side, if you were to play multiplayer in this game, no one could lie about like what difficulty they're playing. Or if you have a Let's Play, you're watching a streamer, they can't be like, "Oh no, I'm playing it on a hard." You'd be like, "No, you're not. You're not." I mean, combat isn't affected anyway, so I don't know why you'd lie about it.